Hi everybody, it's Charlie and I'm back after a month of not appearing on the tubes, online, or anything. Oh, I just got a text message, excuse me, this could be important. It's a guy I work with, and I'll tell you about that in a second. Anyway, how great is it that I don't need to do that classic leaning in to switch on the camera, because I have this little guy. Come on, focus, focus. No, it's focusing on me instead. But anyway, I've been watching this Brazilian YouTuber whose channel is called João Revolta, which translates as John in Revolt, or John's Revolt. And he starts every video, I think it's great, with a hammer, and he slams his hammer on the table, does a hit of his asthma inhaler, and then he starts ranting his polemic attacks on things. So, where have I been for the last month? I've been literally just in that corner over there. I've just been hunched over, crying, and shitting myself naked in that corner, in the fetal position. But apart from that, I've been working out my health. I don't know if you can see, I've put on plenty of weight. Look at that! Look at that! That is a healthy gut. And anyway, for all those people saying you can't trust a man who wears a t-shirt saying played, it says played in heaven. And that obviously is a Kiwi bird, so this is something to do with rugby. And I did used to play rugby when I was a young warthog. And look, I've had a baby a year ago. In fact, today, a year ago and a week, Stacy gave birth to big, beautiful Leonidas, who was a big baby at birth, and he's even bigger now, and he's very hungry, and he's healthy, and he's walking, and he's starting to talk, and he's very cognitive, he's very fast learner. I was slapping my foot on the ground, and he walked up to it, and he starts gingerly lifting his foot up, and then slapping his foot down, and looking at me for reassurance, and that was great. I mean, I think babies are the answer. Babies are the answer. Ignore David Attenborough and these optimum population trials. Who's going to decide the optimum population of a planet? This isn't a ship. This isn't an airplane. There's plenty of space for everyone. And so, if you really want to have your life focused and have your mind focused, have a baby. And having a baby, it changes your mind on certain issues, whereas before you're like, I am such a liberty-loving, I advocate a woman's right to choose. There is nothing wrong with abortion. And then you have a baby. And then abortion becomes a hell of a lot more complicated. I think by the time a woman or girl is deciding to have an abortion, there's been a lot of sadness and a lot of terrible things have happened for it to get to that point, and that, like, it's too late, basically. Look, there's refugees, and refugees are escaping from one place to another. They can't choose to be there. You know, Syrian refugees pouring into Lebanon and Turkey and in Iraq. They're leaving with their families. I mean, you don't want your baby to be blown to pieces. You don't want your baby to be gassed. Who did it? Syrian rebels? Syrian government? Who knows? Anyway, so refugees cannot choose what's happening to them, the horrible things. They just want to survive, to have a better life, to thrive. And a fetus in your womb, if you are a lady, and we look at the YouTube statistics from my channel, it's 90% men that watch this. What? Why are no women watching this channel? I don't know. Is there something like macho about what I'm doing here that doesn't appeal to women? But why don't women watch my channel? 1 in 10 people are female, like 90% are male. But for the 10% who do have a womb, that little fetus, a baby, that, you know, the little grain of sand that will grow up into a human being with hopes and aspirations and dreams, that's kind of a refugee as well. A little human that didn't choose to be there, is there through no fault of his own or her own, and has to try and survive. And so, I don't know, man, like, ask me a year ago or 2 years ago, what are your views on abortion? Well, a fetus is not a human being, and a woman has an absolute right over her own body, which is true, you know, it's true. And so, let's end this fucking terrible tangent about abortion. Why start a video about abortion? What's wrong with me? Everyone has the right to choose whatever they want to do with their own body, and I am not going to be going around there evangelizing or joining any side in the abortion debate, because it's one of those free will determinism things. It's too crazy. Hold on a sec. I just got another text. I've got the phone on silent, so it's not bing da ding da ding da ding. But I do need to check this one. This one's important. Yes. I'll need to reply to this one soon. So, look. There's measures and things you can think about before you are in a position where you have to start aborting fetuses or babies or children, or whichever way you look at it. So I'm staying out of the debate. Look, everyone has choices, and we all have to live with those choices. And Stefan Molyneux in his channel Free Domain Radio, I couldn't find the statistic, but he says that women who have had abortions have much lower rates of empathy towards children, their own children and other people's children. And it doesn't sound that complicated. It doesn't sound that controversial. I mean, anyway, can we just leave it there? Anyway, on the happier side, talking about babies, for the last year and a week, the reason why I got a job a month ago is because when you're like a super proud, self-employed father, you do kind of neglect your finances because you're like playing with your baby literally all day. 6 in the morning till 8 o'clock at night, 14 hours a day, baby, 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 baby. And your bank balance goes, and you have nothing. You have nothing. And then you don't keep doing the work, you don't keep looking for things, you don't look for opportunities. And I had this thing with Press TV which fell through. I was going to be doing a weekly show for them, and that all kind of collapsed because I didn't put in the effort that I should have done, and they didn't get back to me, and I didn't chase it up. And so, the bank balance went to zero. I had to borrow money from my parents. I had to get Stacey's parents to help me out. And that is shameful as a 33-year-old man borrowing money from other people's parents. Anyway, everyone's going to get paid back. They're all going to get paid back. So, the health has improved. The finances are still shit, but I'm working, and so that's good. Next thing on my list. Look at that, I got a list of things to talk about. Let's talk about the things on the list. I was on the TV show Blackout, the Channel 4 thing. I think they did a great job. It was a production house called Raw Media Productions, Raw, as in like raw meat. And I got paid, check this out, I got paid £50 for my 40 seconds of footage. But let's call it 1 minute. I got paid a rate of £3,000 an hour. If you look at it that way, because they used less than a minute, and I got £50. 50 times 60. Am I really bad at maths here? It's not. Is it 300? No. 50 times 60 is 3,000. £3,000 an hour is a great rate, but they didn't use an hour of my footage. They used 40 seconds. Anyway, I am going to auction this famous balaclava now that has been seen by millions of people in Britain and around the world from the TV show Blackout. It's also the balaclava I was wearing during my last arrest in London when I was high on codeine because of my sore back, and I argued with the police and caused a dick of myself. And I was wearing this balaclava, and I'd been arrested and handcuffed, and there you are, handcuffed. And the police wouldn't. I was asking, like, could you just take the balaclava off? It's getting a bit sweaty, and I've been arrested now. What's the point? But the Metropolitan Police, they paraded me there. They wouldn't let me. I was trying to get the balaclava off, and they're like forcing me down. I asked some women that were passing, could you take this thing off? But they're like, no, don't touch him, because they wanted all the cameras and all the media to see them arresting this dangerous anarchist in this balaclava. Anyway, this balaclava, I got it on eBay. It's to keep motorcyclists' heads warm. Anyway, I'm going to auction this on eBay because might as well, and I'm poor, I need the money. So that's that. But Blackout, I thought they did a great job. And I did get a few really paranoid messages saying that I was a crisis actor and that was all organised at the highest levels. But the truth is always a lot more grounded in kind of boring everyday reality. They saw my footage on YouTube, they emailed me, they said, can we use it? I said, yeah, sure, is there anything in it for me? They said, yeah, we'll pay you a little bit of money. I said, how much? They said, 50 quid. And I should have held out for 500 or 1,000, but I thought, yeah, fuck it, 50 quid. Anyway, drum roll. I'm working at a Scottish magazine called The Skinny, and they're based in Edinburgh and Glasgow. and Manchester, Liverpool, and I work in the northern quarter of Manchester, which is hipster central, and it has been an epic wake-up call into all the latest bands, the latest venues, the coolest places, the coolest people, the artists, the music, the films, the DVDs, the venues. Did I say venues? Anyway, it's a baptism of fire. You know, it's a growing magazine. They're hiring, they're expanding. It's now the biggest entertainments and listings mag that does independent cultural journalism. It's very well written, if I can say this about my colleagues. It's very well written, and the editorials are good. And because it's independent, they don't write nice things for people for money, because that wouldn't be editorial. That would be what we call advertorial. Anyway, it's just nice synchronicity that I'm working for a Scottish magazine that was founded in Edinburgh the same year that I left Edinburgh. So during my interview, they're like, "Well, have you not heard of the Skinny?" And I said, "Well, I left Scotland in 2005. Like, that's when we started the magazine. So I've got very big ideas for the magazine. I've got very big ideas for its growth. But because I've been there 3 weeks, you know, like when you're in a new job and like, you know, you have to adapt to kind of how people are and don't make it too much of a twat of yourself, which I struggle with. But for now, I'm going to just do what's asked of me and get my work done, do it well. And then in the future, as time progresses, maybe, who knows what they'll let me do. But the owners are good people. They are good people. They're my age. And so we understand each other. And so I can see what they're trying to do with the magazine, and I believe in it. And so, let's get going. And did I mention, I wrote a few articles for Vice magazine in the past. If you look up Charlie Veitch Vice, I wrote some articles about Delroy, what's his name? Delroy Smelly, the man on the telly? The policeman who was quite violent. I also wrote an article for the royal wedding and also for a big protest in London for Vice. That was when I was hanging out with Alex Miller a few times, and then he wrote that kind of article called "Conspiracy Theorists Are Dangerous Enemies to Make." And being Vice and being, you know, they're quite punk and they're quite nihilistic. Vice, they didn't take sides with me. They just said, fucking conspiracy theorists, they're fucking shit. Charlie Veitch is fucking shit. But it was a well-written article, and thank you for the, you know, the coverage, you know. Thank you, Vice. And now Skinny. The reason why I mentioned Vice is because the Skinny is also a free monthly magazine. That is kind of in the same world as Vice, and so anyway, we'll see what happens with that, so I'm excited. Next thing on my list, it's been 3 years in the making. It's been money spunked at us by the German government. And so money has been spent, government money, state money, on the official Love Police movie. And we have a film premiere. It's going to be in November. And it's going to be in Berlin. There's going to be media and photographers and press, and it's going to be in a cinema. I'm going to fly over to Germany. I'm going to shake some hands, kiss some babies, pose for some photographs, and do what people do at film premieres. And so, like, I just want to say, for all those people out there who, like, worry about following your dreams, who want to believe in themselves, like, just understand that Rome wasn't built in a day. You're not going to get there overnight. And since I was a little boy, I always wanted to do something with filming or acting or, you know, something like that. And the whole Love Police thing was kind of mixing that with my very strong moral beliefs in terms of activism and in terms of what's right, what's wrong. And yeah, everyone makes mistakes. And like some of my Love Police films, I go, oh my God, was I actually saying that or doing that? Because it's all raw, it's all live, it's all unscripted. I mean, the most script, apart from the ones where it's clear that I'm like, yeah, the faded glory of the goddess shall... that's red, but everything else is off the cuff. And I had some comments on my video, open message to the British military, where people said, oh, he's reading it off a script, he's acting! It's not acting. Like, I think, like, when you're in the moment and you're believing in what you're doing, you can just talk. Like I'm doing it now. How many minutes? 15 minutes? 14 minutes I've been going on here. So the Love Police, I'm surprised it hasn't been leaked onto the internet. The film is very good, if I dare say so myself. I had nothing to do with the edit, but I had everything to do with filming it, because it's 95% my footage, and there's a good vast amount of stuff which has never been on YouTube in that film. I'd say there's about 40% completely new footage. And the stuff which they have used, that has been on YouTube, they've got all the raw files. And when you see high quality, full HD, 1080p footage on a giant cinema screen that you've taken, you're like, I can't believe I've been watching this on a 15.6 inch laptop. I'm very happy. Very, 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 very happy. Anyway, because I think, you know, this is the Charlie Veitch channel. We need to talk about something serious now. And, well, we've talked a bit about abortion, but if I can try and talk about this without taking sides, I'll show you two things which happened last week on the same day, the same fucking day. 80 Christians, they were at some funeral or some Christian service in Pakistan, and suicide bombers murdered them, blew them up. 80 people. There was like, I think it was 24 women and 6 children, if I last checked the statistics yesterday. 6 children, guys, like, and then we saw 80 people were gunned down. It's probably going to rise up to about 100, 120, 150, who knows, because the shopping mall in Nairobi has been completely blown to pieces. It's been decimated. But conservative estimate, 75, 80 people on the same day. We've got two very similar things happening in Nairobi and Pakistan. Nairobi being in Kenya, so Kenya and Pakistan. And I just been thinking about this, and it's shocking, you know, like, you see little girls, like 3 years old, running past dead bodies with like a Kenyan policeman ushering them, saying, please come here, like, and people running around with like babies in their arms. And I saw families, like Kenyan families lying on the floor, people taking photographs as they're playing dead. And like, these are 5-year-old children having to play dead as warped, crazy people run around machine gunning as many people as possible. This is what was it, Delhi? Was it Delhi? Or no, it was Mumbai. Bombay, Mumbai. Peking, Beijing? Anyway, Mumbai, I guess that's what the Bombay Sapphire Gin. Mumbai Sapphire. But in Bombay, the kind of terrorist attack, because what was it, mass mutilation, mass butchering, this crazy irrational nihilism, unleash the nihilists on the world. They killed 170 people, I think it was, with AK-47s, and Mumbai, it's a very densely packed city. It's one of the biggest cities in the world by population. And on the positive side, we could say about Nairobi, at least they didn't kill hundreds. At least they didn't do a 9/11 with killing 3,000 people. But I think it's clear that all initiations of violence, of force, which is violence, start out with fear. And fear turns to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. And then if we kind of extend that, suffering leads to empathy. Empathy leads to understanding, and understanding leads to love. But when you're stuck in the fear, anger, suffering thing, you have a very warped sense of self-defense. Because no one thinks they're initiating violence. Everyone says, I need to get that guy. I need to kill those capitalists. I need to kill those Christians or those non-Muslim non-believers. And this Al-Shabaab, Al-Shabaabo, Al-Babubu, like, we need to make fun of these people because, you know, what else can we do? But Al-Shabaab, in their warped ideology, and it doesn't look warped from where they are, in their sense, they're like saying, Sharia and strict adherence to the Quran. It's very difficult. All our children are turning to Western goods, to Miley Cyrus, to Justin Bieber, to iPhones and iPods. I watched the Steve Jobs movie, by the way, with Ashton Kutcher. I thought it was very good. Thumbs up from me. I approve of that film. But all people that commit horrendous acts, whether it's a man who kills his whole family, or whether it's people with guns that blow up shopping malls and kill children, they think they're working from self-defense. And this is where it gets so difficult to unravel, because if, let's say some company, let's say there's a factory in Nevada, or wherever, Nevada, that creates the 30mm depleted uranium rounds for the A-10 Thunderbolt aircraft. And the A-10 Thunderbolt aircraft is kind of 40 years old now. It's an armor-plated aircraft with 2 big turbine engines. It's the only plane in history where they got the gun first and they built an airplane around it, and that's why the plane's quite funny looking. And if I were to go to the factory where they make these bullets and I were to blow it up, I need to be careful how I word this. This is going to be edited with me saying, I'm going to do this! But if I were to blow up a weapons factory which is responsible for Iraq now having the highest rate of genetic disabilities, genetic mutations in children, horrible disabilities, because of the sheer, hey, come on in, I'm shooting a video. But this is funny, like, it's no problem because, yeah, I'm talking about all sorts of crazy things. Hold on a sec. How are you anyway? Cheers, man. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, if you want to appear, you can stick your face in front of that, but if you wish to remain anonymous, just stay off camera. He wants to remain anonymous. Yeah, let me just pause that for a sec.